class of this winter, truly winter semester we're having here in Oshawa. And for those of you who are from somewhere else watching online or on the recordings later, living, you could be anywhere on this planet for this class. We have been having a true winter here, and reminds me of when I was young, very young. Used to have, cold. The snow would stay on the ground for a long time. So today, what we need to do first is I need to get all of you on your feet immediately to go put your names on board over there, okay? And while you're putting your names on board, there's a pen there. That's for attendance, okay? And I'm going to continue to talk you through what's going to happen in the class today. And Rachel, we might need to rely on you again as the scribe. Are you okay with that? Yeah? Okay. Excellent. So go ahead, put your names there if you want to get full marks, because guess what? There is no discussion post that you will have to do at all today. I will tell you about that momentarily. So put your name there. I know you're here. You get 3 out of 3. And we will talk in a moment about why I'm doing that. But first, I want to make sure that all of your names are there and I can record this. So essentially, first, what I need to ask you to do today are a couple of things, okay, before we start with the current event. I have been watching the recordings. I can't watch them all the time, but I certainly try to check for technical things. And um, every so often, this comes up as a problem I notice when I'm watching online the YouTube recording, that quite a few students will disappear into their laptops or their phones for the entirety of the class. Now, you know how I am about our continuing discussion about tech and humanity, and how we have to be able to get control of our machines, otherwise they will control us. But there's something else that I hate to say, but I need to say this. If people are coming to watch the class on YouTube, which is what they do, and other colleges talk about what we're doing here, it looks bush league. To use a hockey term, it really looks bush league. If bush league means amateur hour, it means that people are not really. Bush league is a term we use for. It's not the National Hockey League, Jake, but we say the bush league is like the junior C or junior D league. It's the lower leagues. Okay. Well, in professional hockey, it's a good question. What's the bush league? In professional hockey, there are other teams that have teams that are not in the NHL, but they are smaller teams or teams in other markets that are where players that haven't made the big team are playing for that team until they get called up to the professional team. So then there are, even connected to those teams, other teams in more junior capacities that have people who really want to be playing, but they're struggling. And those leagues we sometimes have called, in a sort of derisive way, it's not very fair, but sort of bush league, meaning that it's not the real thing. I can't tell you exactly what the bush part means, but we can Google that and find out. Okay, but you want to come back to the on board so we can see. But I want to make sure. I want to make sure that you we put on our best face at Durham College for the rest of the world. Okay, and we're the only class that's doing this here at the college, and that we're trying to build something great here. So it doesn't look good from a visual standpoint if people are watching the class and they see a lot of people not in the class but on their phones. Yes, Jake. Hold on, let's get a. Thanks for the. Okay, so there's a reason why we bring the phones out to do this, but okay, so can you explain what Bush League means?
With bush being a synonym for a rural area, non-major league clubs in small towns were referred to as bush league teams in the early days of baseball.
And that's it. And where are we getting that from? What's the source? We don't
MLB.
have MLB. Oh,
MLB.
Major League Baseball. Okay. Well, does everyone kind of get the point?
I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
a more modern term would be calling it wood ranked. Because in gaming, there's bronze, there's silver, there's platinum, there's diamond, and it goes up.
Goes down. Wood.
And I guess wood would be
Wood.
below bronze. You're
We don't want to be wood. Although I like wood. You know, wood is nice. As a matter of fact, wood. If you have more things made of wood in a building, people are calmer. Ever notice that? Walk into a building where there's more wood and watch the chill level kind of just settle.
This is my mic now.
Well, anyways. Okay, so thank you all for being responsive to this, okay? And we will use our tech, but we'll use it for the class and not as a distraction. So, let us talk about what this class is going to be about today. I'm pleasantly surprised now that I can actually have a real class because the tech is working. I wasn't expecting it to. So, there are things I don't have quite set up yet, but that's okay. We can do this later. What I want to do today is, Rachel, could you just exactly, and just write down at the top, a current event, a current event. And what we're going to do together, like this, we don't need to break into teams or anything like that. We have a small enough class. I would like to pick one event out of a list that we create together, okay? And Rachel, with her good handwriting and good first reflection too, by the way. I've been able to mark, I think, half of this class. We're going to brainstorm together, and we'll brainstorm with the Cosmos as well. And we're going to check in with every single student who's in the class. And we're going to go around to, hi, Alina, Arshdeep Corson, Jashandeep, Laura Lai, Mahima, and Manish. We're going to check in with all of them, and we're going to put together a brainstorm list. And then we're going to choose the one event that we think we need to understand. And we're going to look at this event through
I'm gonna go
what it says.
I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna Assassin's Creed.
Okay, Manish, is that Manish? Manish? Yeah, hold on a second, okay? Turn your microphone.
Oops.
Is that
Sorry
Manish?
for the interruptions.
Okay, not a problem. At least we can hear you, and that's good.
I finally got it working.
Yeah, we've got the spacecraft is working. This is not Delta Airlines landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport, by the way. That's another tangent. But let me just do a little show of hands. How many of you have seen the footage? Like, who hasn't? And digital, let's see digital hands up. How many of you have seen the footage? And we've all seen exactly the same footage endlessly. Okay. So, all right. That might be the event. Who knows? But what we want to do is we want to look at our destiny. We want to understand the future and something about the future in the next, let's just say, century. So through the 21st century, we're not going to look too big, too broad. We're going to keep it real in your lifetime or the lifetime of your children or grandchildren. An event that is important to understand because it's telling us something that we need to know about where we're going. But we don't know exactly where we're going based on this event until we have our discussion and we decide and we break it down and we make some notes and we try to understand. Right? Okay, so does anybody have any questions? Anything they'd like to address in general before we jump into this and we can get going on this? Everything's working. We can have a really good think through. And I hope that by the end of today's class, as always, that you're going to come out of this class doing what, if I remember correctly, Giovanni wrote in his first reflection, and he said something about how his mind is going after these classes. There were some very good first reflections, and I really liked what you wrote, Giovanni, about what you're being impacted by. It's authentic. It's you speaking. So by the end of today's class, my hope is that you're going to have that feeling as always, but maybe even more intensified today, which is you're jazzed up. Your mind is jazzed up because we've interacted and we've sort of understood something together. But I'm going to guide you. I will guide you. And thankfully, we have Rachel, so we'll have some good notes. So I think we can jump into this unless you're eager to ask a question or two. Good, everybody's there. So we're going to start with the in-person group, and then we're going to go online to the others in the Cosmos. And for those of you in the Cosmos right now, and that would be Manish, Alina, I think it is, Arshdeep, Horson, Jashandeep, Lorelai, and Mahima, start thinking about the one event that you would like to focus on today, something that's happening in the world that you want to understand in terms of what it says about our future. And start putting some ideas into the live chat, and we will come to the live chat momentarily. Okay, is there anyone in person here who would like to start before we go all the way around? And I can start sort of counterclockwise, clockwise. I can start with Rachel, make sure Rachel gets a microphone.
The political
Have one?
parties for Canada.
Okay, Jake, we'll start with you.
The upcoming
Okay, we're gonna go
election.
clockwise, okay? And Rachel, take one for yourself, and I'll hand out a microphone as well, okay? So, okay. So, Corson, we'll come to that. Excellent. We have addressed that already, but you may find that you want to address it more in detail because it's so consequential. Jake, what's the event that you're thinking of?
The political race between like Doug Ford, Pierre Poilievre, and that other guy.
So we have the provincial premier's race right now for the next premier of Ontario. And that would be Doug Ford and two ladies. We have Bonnie Crombie, the Liberal, and Marla Stiles, I think it is,
Pierre
for
Poilievre.
New Democrats. Okay, so upcoming premier. So that's the provincial premier's race. We're not even talking about the federal one. So there's a lot going on right now.
There's more.
That's provincial. That's just provincial. Ontario. Ontario is going to have a new or maybe the same premier reelected. Great. Okay. So that's politics. Could you write down politics beside that? Okay, because we're going to.
Someone pointed out in chat that
we're going to come to that. We're going to.
It's also a current event.
It's okay. Okay. Next, let's keep going. Can you hand the microphone to Giovanni? And we're going. Well, we'll get another one shortly. So Giovanni, make sure you turn it on, and then let me just check the battery, the juice in it. Is it battery? Yeah. Good. Thanks, Jake. That's good. So here's one that's got. Yeah, that's good. It's on, and it's got batteries in it. Okay. So Giovanni, go ahead.
I could probably talk about the recent comments with Trump talking about Ukraine. And
nice. So it's not an election, but it's Trump's recent comments about Ukraine. Excellent politics. That's a good one. But I'm not going to side with anything right now. Yeah. Fascinating where that may lead us. Okay, in terms of it, that's politics too. Okay, and let's be clear on what he said. The latest stuff that came out of his mouth. Okay, what did he say, Giovanni?
He said Ukraine was the one who started the war.
Yeah. Okay. He said that Ukraine caused Russia to bring 150,000 of its troops into Ukraine. And then Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, said, and this was interesting, with all due respect, Mr. President, this is disinformation that you're just giving the world. And this is interesting. Okay, excellent. Okay. So then the third one, let's go back. So that's Giovanni's, and let's, what's your name again? David. Okay. So it can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be politics. It can be anything, but it's something you feel speaks to our future and needs to be understood. Yeah. Go ahead, David.
Elon Musk going like this at the Trump rally, and nobody said
Elon
nothing.
Musk's Führer salute. The Führer was Adolf Hitler. Okay. Elon Musk's Führer salute. Fuehrer, I think it is.
That's
Führer.
facts.
Führer. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Pretty sure there might be the one slight letter off, but that's good enough. Okay. So good examples. We're going to have a hard time choosing, but we're going to do it together. Okay. We're going to come around. Okay. So David, good. Jake, Giovanni, David. Let's go next here. Okay. And we'll go. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Jake kind of initially saw what I was going to talk about with the upcoming.
Yep. Just is it on? And then karaoke. I can help you. Sometimes.
Good.
Yeah. Let's just see. Make sure. Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
All right. I don't know. Jake kind of initially saw what I was talking about where the upcoming provincial election,
Upcoming provincial election. Okay.
but more so specifically how it was on like Sunday night where they had like
The debate.
4 parties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Debate. Specifically how Doug Ford was kind of sitting there with a smile while all the other 3 parties just dug into him and all his decisions.
So Doug Ford's performance during the Sunday night debate. Let's remember something about what we're talking about. Doug Ford is our Premier of Ontario. He has many months, about 18 months still left in his mandate. He has a majority already. He's asked and wants to have an early election so that he can get another majority quickly, he says, to deal with the United States. So he's called a very early election so that he can have the power he thinks he needs for a longer period to deal with Donald Trump. That's why we're having a provincial election right now. The Premier has said, snap election, it's called, very fast. Okay, so good debate. Isa, or it's Essa, or Isa, Essa? Well, I want to be correct. Essa, okay, go ahead. What do you think?
So I would say Trump trying to make Canada like the 51st state.
Trump, yep, Trump wanting to annex Canada. And that's different from his recent comments on Ukraine to become the 51st state. And we've covered this to some extent with Rachel's good point early on, but we'll see where this goes. Okay, and then next it's Lovepreet, yeah, sure. Lovepreet, okay, go ahead. So we've got a lot of politics, and that may be necessary. We'll see where this goes. Lovepreet?
I know that like it is going like in the century is the AI era. So I thought that like China and Russia, like Trump flips to the Ukraine to Russia. I guess so like US and Russia and China makes AI aura. I guess so. So that's why.
Okay, let's help you get this specific. You've got US in there, you've got China, and you've got Russia. What do we need to understand? Is it the relationship between US and Russia,
No, like
or AI, or
like it's kind of the AI generation. So I guess so like they more connective in the upcoming years. So I guess so. So that's I guess. So.
keep thinking? I'm gonna push you, okay, a little bit. Got to be clear. Okay, so this and part now. Watch it, phones. Okay, Jake. Hold on, I'm gonna call you on it today, just because I want to make sure. Come sit closer. Okay, hold on. Let me put this here, and let me go louder. Okay, it might be a. Now you'll hear me. Okay, so Lovepreet, go ahead and say what you just said again.
I guess so. Like the U.S. Stops to the Trump said that the Ukraine started first war to Russia, and they flipped it like I guess so. So that's why the Russia and China and US makes a AI aura to the world too.
Why don't I help you and say, we have a very interesting leader in Russia. His name is Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, I know.
Vladimir Putin and our future. Now, we're talking about a fascinating figure, Vladimir Putin. And there's a term I'm going to introduce to you, but I'm not going to ask Rachel to write this right now, but I want you to think about. I may have mentioned it before already. It's called the totalitarian temptation. When humanity seems to want a strong man to save them. This is what Vladimir Putin likes to appeal to. And Donald Trump is doing the same thing. I will save us and make us great again. That's exactly what the Fuhrer said in the 1930s before Hitler came to power. Hitler was elected, let's not forget. There was a democracy. It's called the Weimar Republic in Germany. People chose him, and when he came to power, a lot of things changed that he never said he would do, but he did. Okay, good. So, okay, Beirut, go ahead. We're going to get, and then we're going to choose one, okay? It's not going to be easy. One event, something going on.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of things regarding like just the national level and then like towards Ukraine and Russia, but I think I just probably might like kind of agitate a few people here, but I wanted to talk about the progress's ugly head in the people of power, particularly well, an event that's really showing this right now:
Yes,
genocide in Gaza.
genocide in Gaza. Okay, let's write down. Let's put, though, for the sake of accuracy, let us put quotation marks around the word genocide. Genocide is an intended, planned liquidation, destruction of an entire culture of people. We can't say that for certain, that this is something that the Israelis or Jews or others are undertaking against Palestinians. It's something different, but it's awful. It is terrible. But to say genocide means that there is a deliberate plan, literally a plan, to kill and get rid of, not deport, but get rid of all those people. We don't know that about the actions undertaken in Gaza. What I can tell you, though, what I will tell you to help you, if you want to understand genocide really well and what it means, I highly recommend that you go and you Google something later called the Wannsee Conference. WANN. Could you just write this down? The Wannsee Conference. WANNSSEE. There was a conference just outside Berlin in the middle of the Second World War in which Hitler's senior officials came together for 90 minutes to plan out the final solution. That is the mass murder of gypsy, gay, disabled, Jew, and black in all countries that Germany was occupying. And they came up with a list of 15 million people that they wanted to get rid of. That was planned. That was planned. And we know that for certain. That's a fact, the Wannsee Conference. We have to be careful in using the term genocide, but it's definitely, Beirut, something to be seriously concerned about in terms of how right now we have a state, Israel, that refuses to undertake a two-state solution with the Palestinian peoples. And that was agreed upon in the 1990s, the two-state solution, by no less than Yasser Arafat, who led the PLO, the first Palestinian independence movement through the 20th century. At any rate, It's a very good point, and we may look into that, but we have to be careful in how we use the word genocide. It is a planned, deliberate, systematic plan to eliminate all of those people. Kill them all, not deport, kill. That's what the Holocaust was. You send people in freight trains all the way to death camps, and then you burn them, you reduce them to ash and bone, and you bury that ash somehow. It's an awful thing. And that's not the first time in history we've seen these Holocausts happen, Beirut. But to say that that's what's been happening in Gaza is a stretch. Yes, it's a massacre. Now, I should say full disclosure here, just so everyone understands, I'm Jewish. So, but this is not a Jewish thing in Gaza. This is about land. It's about poverty. It's about many other things. But fundamentally, there is a religious problem there too. I don't believe it's a genocide. I've seen no evidence whatsoever that the Prime Minister of Israel sat down with the senior officials in any way and decided we will eliminate all Palestinians. Definitely not. However, let's move on, okay? Let's move on. I'm glad you brought that up. We can talk about anything in this class. We have to be able to, because the world, as we look at it today around us, is extremely tumultuous. There's a lot of conflict, a lot of confusion, and you are the ones, your generation and those coming after you, who will have to deal with this, have to live with this, the consequences of this. Go ahead, Jess.
Can I say something on his point?
What's that?
Can I say something on his point?
Sure.
I think he was trying to say that US, Russia, and China are like too involved in tech, and they are gonna settle up the whole era of AI.
So we have, go ahead, keep going. So it's US, Russia, and China?
Yeah. I'm
And-
just making up his
Yeah,
point.
but keep going. All right.
He was trying to say that they are too involved in a technology that they have, so they are like far from this one, right? And there are many more countries, so they are he's trying to say that they are going to set up an whole era for the next generation or next time,
In terms of technological superiority?
maybe, or whole era of the AI.
So your concern is you're seeing that the future of power in the world is moving towards Russia, China, and the United States, and that they're kind of moving more together. They're becoming more
Yep.
similar.
Yep.
That's a very good point.
Because like
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Go on. Go on.
because like in the future we don't fight like with all of them. We have the only source of fighting is AI. So
It's
that's why-
AI.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why.
The growing closeness of the United States, Russia, and China. That's a fascinating point, especially in technology. And the reason this is fascinating is because many people think that the United States represents the Statue of Liberty and freedom. Once upon a time, it's a new game, it's a new world with Donald Trump's reelection. The United States is becoming increasingly, with him, autocratic, which is there's a central leader like you have in Russia with Vladimir Putin, like you have in China with Xi Jinping. These are what we call highly controlled centralized autocracies, not quite dictatorships, but close. And now what people fear is that the United States is now moving in that direction too, because Donald Trump supports Vladimir Putin so much. And so if the United States moves in that direction, where we have the three great powers in the world, Russia, China, and they're all kind of strong men, autocrats, where is freedom? That's a very good question. Okay, so we'll see. Finally, we're going to get Andrew, and then we'll check in online, and then we're going to make our choice because we still have some very important work to do. Andrew, do you want to say one more thing?
My point.
Oh,
was
I
just
thought you
clearing
were
his point.
just clarifying for him.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your point. Okay.
For me, I think environment is a big issue.
Which?
Environment.
Exactly. So climate change.
Because there is so many things going up there, like global warming, greenhouse effect, which is making the temperature more and more on the earth, and which is making like glaciers are like
Melting.
so yeah. And there are some other issues that are related to that. Yeah, you can take the pollution, and which is making more like all these like serious illness around us.
Yes.
Or we can say the corona, because that's the human made, but there are so many things that are like naturally spreading over here. And I think all these political and money issues are too small in front of life threatening issues.
Okay, so I'm just doing, sorry, with all the tech problems today, thanks, Rachel. Environmental instability or climate change. Yeah. By the way, for those of you from India here and online and in the cosmos, there is a growing problem in some Indian communities around the Himalayas, the great mountains, of communities that used to rely on ice and needed the ice. And now those communities have been melting, and many people have been carried away in floods in some of these mountain communities because of climate change. There was an Indian student in one of my classes a few years ago who wanted to, Jake, and this is the pose. Be careful, okay? This is the pose that you don't want to be in, but it's a very common pose today. I'm just making a point, okay? This is tech controlling you. Not only you get unhealthy that way, it's not good for you, but you're not aware that at that point, the tech is controlling you. Can you try to sit up, okay? Sit up and hold, excellent, okay? Well, I know I can call on you for default, and you've been excellent in class, so I don't want to lose that. And if I'm being harsh, let me know, okay, Jake? Well, okay, it's good that I know. It's good that I know that. Then, if that's the case, okay, fair enough. Try to do it without your phone. That's okay. What you're doing now. But we know now that you have to. That's part of who you are. Not a problem, okay? But I'll tell you, when I walk through the campus and I see groups of young people slouched with the phone in front of them, and they're all doing it together, wearing just their sweats and everything else, I'm depressed. Because, well, it looks like you've lost your energy, like you're disappearing into the machine world. Okay.
I get this a lot. So for someone with my type of body, I find it really hard to wear jeans without it either cramping my leg, cramping my waist, or cramping my crotch. So I always wear sweats because one, they're comfy, they're easy to wear, and they fit me, and I can grow in them without feeling restricted. They also allow me a lot of movement because I'm most likely going to be sitting down or moving up and down, carrying things, lifting things, walking a dog, picking up my cats. So I wear tracks because they're easy, they're comfy, and they're like kind of a one size fits all. I can just go there, look, oh, extra large. Yeah, that's about right. And I'll put them on and I'll wear them. And I'm like, yeah, these are comfortable.
I don't want to. I'm just being too afraid today. I have a great fear that my generation, my colleagues, younger people, as we move further and further into the machine age in which machines are becoming so super intelligent, that we humans just lose our energy, our ability to be critical and rigorous, and we just become slaves to our machines. I worry about that. Okay, so Andrew, did you give us yours?
Okay. Basically, it's going to add on what you guys mentioned about the environment. I recently read that by 2050, over 2.1 billion people is going to be displaced because of the impact of climate change, whether it be from extreme drought or from floods. And these people, as it is currently, they don't have the level of protection and considerations like refugees from war-torn countries, and they're actually called climate refugees. So I think that in the future, or now, government should be revisiting their laws and their policies to give these displaced people some protection, because over 2.1 billion is a lot of people. I think in the last 5 years, it's been like 20, on average, 21 million people being displaced because of the impact of climate change. So exactly, yeah. So that's something that's very concerning to me.
So I just want to move on. This is excellent. We have a lot here. I'm looking in the live chat as well. There's some other ideas there. I'm going to leave those for now up there, and I'm going to work with what we've done in person, okay, here. And what I'd like to do for us to get our number one choice is I'd like to do the quick voting way. Have I done it with you before? The quick vote, which is the clap? Okay, we're going to do it again because it works. Giovanni? Okay, go ahead. And then Rachel, write yours down too that you think, okay? And then we're going to listen to Giovanni for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was thinking about is the real reason behind all these plane crashes, because just seeing one like 1 hour ago, next one crashed an hour ago, 2 people killed.
It seems like in the last 3 weeks or so, there have been 4 or 5 major plane events. Yeah.
Because before we never had stuff like this. So I'm like thinking, like brainstorming, wondering what could be like, because behind every situation, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So the question would be like, what is the real reason behind all
Absolutely.
the planes recently?
And the question we would want to ask at the beginning, Giovanni, is a simple question. Is it human error or is it machine error? That gets you started. And then we can follow that in different directions. But the question of human error should be addressed, no question. And okay, so we have the plane crash, multiple plane crashes in a short period of time. That may be what we're going to vote, okay? So I want you to think of the one, and we'll review, okay? We'll have Rachel swipe back to the first card so we can see, and we're going to review. And for those of you online, we're going to work with just what's come up in person here. I don't see a lot coming in online, and that's fine. We have plenty here, but Corson will probably like what Giovanni just said because he too is talking about the plane crash. Okay, so here we go. We have the upcoming, I just want you to listen, okay? All of you just listen, and then I'm going to ask for the vote quickly, and then we're going to carry on. So we have the events, upcoming premier's race or the election in Ontario, Trump's recent comments on Ukraine, Ukraine caused the war, Elon Musk's Führer salute, Doug Ford's performance during Sunday night debate, Trump wanting to annex Canada, Vladimir Putin and Russia, genocide in Gaza, the growing closeness of US, Russia, and China, environmental instability, climate refugees, and then I think Rachel's added mass deportations to Guantanamo Bay. Okay, mass deportations to Guantanamo Bay. Let's not forget that one thing we can say about Donald Trump is he is consistent. He said all of these things he was going to do during the election, and he was elected for those things. So his supporters want him to do these things. It's a little bit different from what happened in the 1930s with Adolf Hitler in Germany that they did not know, his supporters, that Adolf Hitler would carry out the kind of deportation and then a plan for mass murder. So there's a little bit of a difference, but similar. Yes.
Yeah, so this is why I'm wondering why people hate Donald Trump, because he legit said all those stuff prior to the election.
That's
and
right.
The same
That's
people
right.
still voted for him. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm wondering, like, because the Kamala, she said what she's gonna do.
Yes.
Trump said what he's gonna do, but at the end of the day, Trump won. So like, what's the real reason behind like everyone like not liking what Trump's doing now, but he said he was going to do it?
There's an answer for that, and if I can put it as simply as possible, Giovanni, without getting too far afield, I'll keep this as brief as I can. It has been said that democracies have a hidden danger in them, and we can go back in history and look at how other democracies, like Greece, like Rome, like the early democracy, growing democracy in England, not quite a democracy. We look at the early democracy growing in the United States after its revolution in 1776. And during that revolution, do any of you know the name Alexander Hamilton? You ever heard of the play Hamilton? Hamilton? He was one of the creators of the American Constitution, Alexander Hamilton. And there was a big Broadway play made about his life, Alexander Hamilton, based on his life. He wrote extensively as the United States was becoming formed, Giovanni, that there was a great danger that the United States would expose itself to, and it's called the demagogue. The demagogue. That the demagogue will come. A demagogue is a figure who has no real policies but speaks to people's prejudices, inflames them, plays to the mob, gets elected because people think that he can deliver on all of his promises that he made to them, and he only made those promises during a campaign. But during the actual time when he's in office, he finds it much more difficult to actually carry out those things that he said to people. He inflamed their sense of danger, inflamed their sense of anger. He played to the crowd. Here's a question to ask yourself about Donald Trump right now. If you think he's so tough, we don't have any tariffs yet. There's lots of talk. Lots and lots and lots of talk. We might say that his bark might just be a little bit louder than his bite, a little bit sharper than his bite. If you look at his first time in office, there were things he said he would carry out that he never did. But he's a master, a genius communicator. He makes people get all worked up. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people feel that he will solve their problems because he spoke to their problems and got them angry. We will see if he can do that now that he's in the real world of politics. Okay, go ahead.
You live a longer life than
Yes.
us. Has there ever been a successful president, prime minister? Like, you know, he said what he's gonna do. He came in and everyone loved him, and he or she probably.
I can't think of a politician ever. Maybe Ronald Reagan in the United States. I would say Pierre Trudeau in Canada, but not really. There were so many problems. I think it's the nature of politics, Giovanni, that here's a famous line. Politicians campaign in poetry, they govern in prose. What does that mean? Poetry is a language of emotion. So when you're campaigning, a candidate will often speak to the emotions, but some do it better than others. Donald Trump has done it very well. But once you get into power, now you got to write full sentences. You have to write a whole book. It's not just a poem, it's prose, which is a full book. That takes more thought. You have to work with more people. It's more difficult. So often it's said a candidate will campaign in poetry, govern in prose. The prose is a lot longer. It's a lot harder. And that's where we see almost always, Giovanni, that when somebody leaves office in a democracy, they usually leave with a lot of scars. They usually leave with a lot of people not liking them because you can't satisfy everybody when you're governing. But when you're campaigning and you're speaking only to your local your vocal supporters at your rallies, well, they all love you. But when you go into actual government, now you got to deal with all your enemies. You can't just get rid of your enemies in a democracy. You actually have to interact with them and govern with them. That's not easy. And that's why so many end up not being liked.
This is why I was thinking to myself, like, say for instance, Kamala won.
Yes.
The same thing would have same like everyone.
Probably the same.
So
Absolutely.
that's why I'm wondering if it's like the thing with Trump, if it's like forced or like the eight is the agenda is like super forced because Donald Trump. Because I'm wondering like because I know for sure if Kamala went in, same she would have done some right, some wrong. I don't know.
Democratic politics, Giovanni, is the best we have, but it's not the best we're ever going to have. It's the best we have now. It's a very messy system. It's not perfect, but it's better than all the alternatives that are much more dangerous. Yes, absolutely do I. For sure. I think we humans have evolved so much from where we were. We have the ability to get better. We've proven that in history. Okay. We need to have a vote. Okay, so we have mass climate refugees from Andrew. Great questions from Giovanni. So finally, let's go back to the beginning and we'll read through them. And now let's hear the claps. Okay, so just swipe back and you've made your choice. Now you can only, Jake, hold your question for a second. I want to make sure that we get this activity done properly. So I'm going to read through each one, and you can only clap for one choice, like last time. Upcoming premier's race, politics, probably silence. Yeah, not surprising. Trump's recent comments on Ukraine. Elon Musk's Führer salute. Okay, that's your clap. Doug Ford's performance during Sunday night debate. Trump wanting to annex Canada. Vladimir Putin, Russia. Ooh, is that Manish? Is that a clap? Okay, it's just one. It's hold on. Genocide in Gaza. Next card. Swipe for the next one. I think I know what we're gonna get the clapping. The growing closeness of U.S., Russia, and China. Politics. Lovepreet. Maybe. No, environmental instability, right? So go ahead. You're gonna clap for that? Yeah. Environmental instability. Ooh. No. Or climate refugees. No. Mass deportations to Guantanamo Bay. Right? Multiple plane crashes. Oh, isn't that fascinating? Great. Okay. Multiple plane crashes is it. Lovely. Okay. So we have Alina. Well, now we're going to do something. Okay. And I'm going to give all of you a chance to work together on this, and then we'll come back because I think we're actually moving along a little bit better now. Okay. I think I can get these pods going. Okay. So Rachel's got a group there. I'll get the second one going, the third one, hopefully, and the fifth one. And we're going to create teams of 3 or so, and we're going to do multiple plane crashes. And I want to make sure that one person is in each group who voted for this. So for team 1, Rachel over here, raise your hand if you clap for multiple plane crash. Okay. So Essa, could you go over there with Rachel, please? Okay. And would you go over with Rachel too? Okay. The 3. Okay. Is it Muskin? Muskin or Priyanshi? Yukta. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Yukta. Okay. Yukta, Essa, and Rachel over there. Raise your hand again for multiple plane crashes, which I think is a clever choice. There's a lot there. Okay, so Beirut, Andrew, and Giovanni, could you go to the next one? Okay, great. Okay, now we'll keep this, the four of you, could you please go over there, okay? And I'll get rid of that for you in a moment, okay? Just hold your questions till after, okay? Let me just get this set up for all of you. And I want to give you all a pen, and I'm speaking. And for those of you online, I will come momentarily. So first, the big question is going to be why? Why did you say multiple plane crashes? Should be the one thing that we need to concentrate on if we want to understand our future better. You work together, okay? Essa, you help, okay? Rachel can make notes. You can work with Yukta to work on this, okay? Excellent, okay. And then same, yeah, press one and then see. Sometimes you have to hold it. It was working earlier, and I don't know what, it might be, we have to go to another one. No, if it's not coming on there, then let's go over here for a second and see. One of these is working. If not, something, there we go. Okay, so here's your pen. Okay, I'll get you your browser, and we're going to put it up there. So that will do this, export to screen share. That way we'll be able to see up there. Okay, why did you choose this? Great. And we're going to get all of these up on the board. Okay. And then this, I think all we have to do is do that. Do you want to exit? Yes. Great. Okay. And then let's see if we can get up here to screen share, wired. Okay. Here you go, gentlemen. Why would you choose multiple plane crashes to help us to understand where we're going in the 21st century? All right. Multiple plane. Go ahead, gentlemen. Great. So we've got our thinking through going now. Multiple plane crashes has been chosen. And you can see on the big board that Rachel, Essa, and Yukta are working on theirs. And I'm going to show you with the camera in a moment all of the groups. In the corner, Andrew and Giovanni and Beirut are working on theirs. And then we have our fourth group. So why? Multiple plane crashes. If you need to do a little research and you need to use your phone, or go ahead. What are these plane crashes? Where did they happen? Now, for those of you online, Alina, Arshdeep, Corson, Jashandeep, Lorelai, Manish, and Oyentade. Ah, you're in the class. Do any of you have any questions for me about what I'm asking each of you to do? Or do you know what to do? Let's hear it. Let's see who's in the class right now. Okay? And I'm going to bring. Okay, I'm going to let you think about that for a moment. And I'm going to see if I can get all of this up on. So student pod 1. Do we get 3? Nope, we don't. But we can get 5. Yeah, okay, so you're up there now too. So just be aware that what you're writing there can be seen up here, okay? So we have team 1 and team 5 that you will see on the big board. Automation, good. Automation, very good point. Somebody's just written about the plane crashes. We don't know, but Instagram has suggested something. The over-reliance on, exactly, very good point. We don't know this yet, but put what you think, okay? This is lack of human input. That is a great point, okay? Good course. And so put the thoughts all of you online, as I move around, I'm just trying to get the tech working properly so that all of you online can see everything that the teams are doing. And you can see 2 teams right now, not 3, but I'm working on that. Okay? But for Corson, if you're able to, could you do a little digging and list out for us what plane crashes are we talking about that are in question? Because we're talking about multiple plane crashes, right? So it's not just what happened in Toronto. But what are the other crashes? Let me see what. So, Corson, anybody online put information about what are the crashes that we're talking about, and I'm going to try and get this working over here. Keep going. Really want to get this guy up. I'll try again. Why he doesn't want to come on? I think has something to do with. Okay. I'll try and put some video up of the crash, the Delta crash, but everybody's seen it, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so that's not working. All right, so that's the best we can get right now. Trump believes DEI policies. Oh, I think that was the helicopter crash in Washington. A helicopter crash. But we're talking about multiple crashes. So for all of you online right now, please put into the live chat, what are the crashes we're talking about? Specifically. I think there might even be 5 of them. Manish, I see your hand up. Is there anything you want to ask me? I'm here. Okay, yeah. Fair, good, thanks. Okay, so keep thinking, go online wherever you can to make sure we're all dealing with the same information. Multiple crashes. Essa, yeah, hold on. Okay, Essa's got a question, yep. 8. Can you list them out? Okay, yeah. Essa is finding 8, so we'll see with the sources. Essa has just come to me and said he's found 8 crashes. He thinks 8. In what period of time, Essa? Is it in the 2 months, possibly? I like your choice. I think it's a really creative, interesting choice. Climate change, climate refugees would have been the normal choice. Trump, we're so bored with. But plane crashes, this is interesting. Why so many plane crashes? Laura Lai, yeah, this plane, okay, so she's got the facts coming. The plane and helicopter collision happened on the 29th of January. Good, Lorelei, that's great. There were 67 deaths, 67 people died. Manish has got one. Excellent, everybody. Just start filling up the live chat with crashes. Essa has said he thinks there have been 8 recently. 8. And I'll show you everybody here momentarily for those online. Okay. So let's see if we can do camera controls. I'm going to just try and give everybody a view here. The others. And to do that, I need to move the camera. So let's try this. Okay. And will it come back? Yeah, it will. Okay, so let's go over to, who's that going to? Here we see, there's Essa, there's Rachel, and there's Yukta. Okay? And if I keep going, we will see Beiruz. There's Beiruz. Good. And we see Andrew and we see Lovepreet, and they're working on theirs. And I'm going to come back here for a moment because I want you to see the third team, but that might require me to go to a different camera. So let's try this and see if this works. No. Okay. So what's happening there? No, it's not. Whoops. Interesting. I can see it. Yeah, I'll have to stay here for now because there's Oyentade. Right, the crash of the Jeju air flight killed 170. Oh, the ones in Korea. Of course. I forgot about that one in Korea. It slammed into a wall. That was horrendous. That one I said to my wife as we were watching the news, we just watched a plane slam into a wall. Everybody was alive as the plane was going. It slammed, everybody's dead now. Very good, Oyentade. So we have the Alina, the typical reasons. Well, keep going. Way to go, everybody. These are really good examples because it's speaking to human error, it's speaking to technology, people's lives on the line. Everybody understands. Do you want to open for him? Yeah. Everybody understands air travel. Everybody flies to one extent or another. Come on in, Akalisha. Go ahead and come join this group, okay? He'll tell you what they're doing. Yeah. Okay. So team 5 is now saying automation, lack of human input. This seems to be one of the biggest unexplained events to come out of this year. Is it human error, machine error? Good. More dependent on machines, new aeronautic technology failing, leading to faulty aircrafts, ultimately. Wow, conspiracy. Good. Okay. Keep going. Yeah, no, but keep anything that you think is important, even if it's just something out of your imagination, put it down. We're brainstorming. We're trying to understand what this means for our future, your future and your children's future. That's what it's all about. What's this one? Yeah, so the South Korean one, Vince Neil's plane. Raylan, you've got Vince Neil's plane crashed. Oh God, Raylan, help me. Who's Vince Neil? I feel like I should know this person. Raylan, who is Vince Neil? Oh, okay. She'll come back. So let's see what's happening in the live chat. 5 more minutes, and then we're going to take this up together, okay? Akalish, think of, we're trying to understand multiple plane crashes and what this says about our future. Okay? What is going on with air travel right now? Why have planes been crashing? Vince Neil is the singer for Motley. Oh, thanks, Lorelei. Okay. Okay, that's fine. As long as, if I know you're there, Lorelei, one of you, then it's fine. So Vince Neil is the singer for Motley Crue. What happened with his, Lorelei, what happened with his crash? Did he survive? Or did he, an engine in his plane failed? Ooh. Did anybody, oh, did he die in that accident? I'm assuming he did. I think I remember something. The pilot died. Okay. Here's an important question. What airline was it? Do we know? We might find when we look at the airlines behind these accidents that there might be one airline that has been having more accidents than another. Private, huh? Okay. Okay, 3 minutes. And I'm going to give a microphone over to Andrew and Giovanni because we can't see them, but okay, that will be their microphone. We'll pass this around for them. Okay. Okay, guys, you're going to start this off momentarily. Okay. Okay.
Stand.
All right.
1, 2, 1, 2.
2 minutes, and then we're going to do our take up. Let me see if I'll put some slow motion looped footage of the plane crash or the South Korean. No, that's an awful one. Give me a moment here. I'm going to do, what did I just do? I lost YouTube. That's all right. I'm still okay in the back end of YouTube. Yes, I am. That's good. You still got a live feed going there. So let's get Delta Airlines crash. Okay. What do we have here? My glasses. W. Global National, CBC News. Yeah, okay, we'll go to Global National and see here. Okay, so let's do this. I'm trying something new here. Crash investigation. Okay, we've seen this footage. Everybody has seen it. What? Let me see. Here, if I can get this microphone sort of working properly, but I'll do this. Okay, 1 minute, and I will try to get this footage here. Yeah, and I'm going to shrink that. Oh, come on. That's it. Okay, you can do this. There we go. There we go. There's our little bit of video. There's our little bit of video. Okay. Good. So in the middle, I've got that. And we're going to do this. Okay. Get rid of that. Ooh, yeah. And here is, ooh, right. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. Let's see if we can get there. We go. Okay. Okay, get ready. We're going to do the take up now. And I've got some little bit of video going here, so we have a reference if we need for what took place in Toronto. Okay, so we're going to start with actually for those of you who are online, let me just, whoops, make sure this is not there. We'll put it up here for now somewhere. Okay. Well, it's too much. Let's just keep this here for now and keep it simple. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to start with a team that you can't see right now online, and I will bring the camera over there momentarily, but I can't put team 3 up on the big board here. So I'm going to let them speak, and then we're going to come to team 5 and then team 1. So Andrew and Giovanni, and I'll bring the camera over there so we can see them. properly, and we'll do it this way, which is here we go. I'm going to move it over. There we go. And then I'm going to zoom in so we can see. Excellent. And if you want to, the camera you're speaking to, gentlemen, is the black one right there. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So hold the microphone and then please tell us your thoughts.
So when it comes to the multiple plane crashes that we've been getting, one of the questions that we have is it human error or is it machine error? So that's something that we're concerned about. And also, should we be hesitant to fly in this moment?
Yes. Yes.
That's another one.
And we talked about the compensation, like the the pilot, no, not the pilot, like the company.
Yes.
For instance, Air Canada, they compensate for loss of life. Say, for instance, in the future, and God's willing. No, not God's willing, because I don't want it to happen. Yeah, God forbid. Yeah,
God forbid.
I have my
That's
wife,
right.
and she like lose her life in a plane. Like, they compensate me as a husband or family for loss of life, and can the shortage of aviation mechanics be sorted?
Yes.
Because he said he found that.
Yeah, recently read that there's a huge shortage of aviation maintenance in the industry, and I'm not saying it's correlated, but I'd like to know like how the industry plan to sort that, to fix that problem. It's a huge shortage, right?
Well, let me challenge you for a moment to make sure, because I want to stay on focus in terms of our class. This is called Humanity's Destiny. So we're talking about the future. So how exactly does this speak to your future and the future of your children? And we're talking about the 21st century, okay, Andrew? So we're just thinking about the next, 60 years or so. How do we look at the future in terms of this event? What should we be thinking about?
The question becomes how do we evolve the airline industry where it becomes safer, or do we does it evolve in something totally different where it becomes safer? So safety is a huge issue.
Exactly.
So
Can you write that down? How do we evolve the airline industry so that it becomes safer? That's a really important question. Some of you may even have careers related to this very question. Excellent. Okay. While you're writing that, what I'd like to do for the other teams is, since we have the other teams visible up here, watch what I'm going to do. I'm sort of making this up on the fly. I would like everybody now, once you've written that, everybody to come back, because we can all now refer to what you've written together up here, okay? So come back into the circle, all right? And we'll talk about what you've written by looking at it up here, okay? This is, unfortunately, I could not get Andrew's and Giovanni's and Beiruz's screen up here for some reason, but we've got you and we've got that critical question. But now we're going to really work on this together, okay? And this is great. And we have microphones. Bring your microphones. Great. Andrew's got his microphone. I've got mine. Good. Jake. Okay, good. Want your brain. Want your brain. Even if you've got a fidget. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I think you can. Just get yourself into the moment. Okay, you're in the moment. So now for team 5. Okay, team 5, we're going to get team 5 a microphone, because I'd like you to read out loud what you've written. Okay, so yeah, good, Yukta. For one of the Lovepreet, were you in? No, you were here. Yeah, oh, you were team 5. Okay, so Lovepreet, go ahead, and we might pass it around to David and others. Okay, but make sure if you're online right now on your phones, it's related to the class. Okay, we can live with phones being used as research tools. What we can't live with in this class is phones being used like cigarettes. I used to smoke a pack a day, Roth. You need it. Now people don't smoke, so they take the phone, So no phones or cigarettes, okay? But phones as research tools. Great. S is working on research. Lovepreet, go ahead. So team 5, everybody look to the wall and you'll see. Can you read that out loud for us, please?
Yep. And the first point of ours is automation, lack of human inputs.
Yep.
In the aircraft or like any the machine era.
Lack of, well, I'll help you, okay? That's okay. Can you see? But I can help just because I've already read this out loud before, so I remember. Why pick multiple crashes? Well, we haven't identified the actual crashes, but we have them over here. Way to go. Team 1, that's excellent. Okay, we'll get to that. So automation, lack of human input. We don't know if that's the reason, but we have to look at that. Remember, we're thinking the future, your future. The biggest question that we are going to have to face increasingly as the great advanced human species on planet Earth is, how are we going to let machines do more and more and more for us? And then if they do, what if the machines start to make mistakes? How do we correct that? So we don't know yet if there was something wrong with the airline or the pilot. But we're going to have to ask those questions constantly into the future. Whatever crash it may be, whether it's a plane, whether it's a boat, whether it's a bus, whether it's a car. This seems to be one of the biggest unexplained events to come out this year. Is it human error, machine error? More dependent on machines, new aeronautic technology failing, leading to faulty aircrafts, ultimately leading to the plane crashes. We don't know that, but we have to ask that. Conspiracy. We have to contend with that. Any investigator today, anyone has to contend with, well, when they're looking at something, do they have the right information to analyze what happened? Or are they looking at faulty information? Remember what President Zelensky just said about Donald Trump. He said, you are reacting to what's happening right now through disinformation. He said the President of the United States was using disinformation. Hold that for a sec, okay? And then this one, who wrote this? Just a little bit of translation. It's a little rough here. What's that word there? According to the Google. Okay, according to the Google. Now we're getting, but what you're saying, according to the Google, this makes me a little queasy because, okay, well, we'll take it for what it is for the moment. But to say something according to Google, you never want to say that. You know why? Google's not a source. It's just a platform. You want to go to the actual source. Google's just delivering you. So you got to make sure. So, but we're gonna take it. There's so much false information on Google, so you have to go to the source. Okay. But we'll say, according to Google, 13 aircrafts accidentally where at least one person died this year. Okay, you're getting at the number of crashes, David, which is good. We're going to go to team 1 to get some more clear information here on this, okay? To make sure what we're dealing with. Okay, team 1, who from team 1 is ready to read out loud? Rachel? Get a microphone over to Rachel. Rachel, can you please read what you guys did? And that's good information there. So these are some of the crashes we're talking about. Is it, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Essa was basically talking about like why he chose that topic was because flights are a part of everyday life, but now so many people are becoming fearful due to how many in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Also, we saw a lot that Trump was blaming DEI policies and moreover minorities for at least, I believe it was the first crash that happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, sorry, I'm losing my.
Do you want me to help? Or it might be the juice in there. We've had tech issues all day.
And sorry.
I'll read it, okay?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll read it. So here we have a number of the accidents, crashes. So we had the one in DC, Washington, DC, January the 29th, and I'm going to accept this information as true. Okay, I don't know what the sources are, but I'm going to accept it as you have your sources are okay. You're not going to be challenged on sources. All right, this is good because this is good information in general. So January 29th, we had an accident in Washington D.C. 6 people died. PN, what's PN? Pennsylvania. Okay, U.S., Pennsylvania. January 31st, there was an accident there. But nobody died, we think. Or, well, 7. Okay. It doesn't really matter. Well, it does. It matters when there's one loss of life. But what matters the most is the frequency right now of these planes going down or having an accident. So Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., February the 5th, of course, 67 died. AK? What's AK again? Alaska. Oh. February 6th, 10 people died. Is that Arizona? AZ? February 10th, 1 died. These are all US, California, February the 12th, Florida, Texas, Pearson. That's a lot. I'm even learning stuff here that I didn't know. So I didn't know about the one in Arizona or even California.
The
Okay.
Arizona one was today, and they're still finding out how many people have passed due to it.
Today?
Yeah, there was another one today.
Where? Really? Okay. I'm going to go swipe, and I'm going to make one more card before we call it a class, okay? Just take a mic, Jake. Okay, we'll make sure, because this is excellent. What is going on?
Am I all good to start speaking?
Go ahead, Jake. Sure.
All right. So my first thing before you went into groups was, I actually had mentioned this in my reflection, but I don't believe that Donald Trump should have been able to be reelected because he was elected 8 years ago. Then he went through his 4-year term, and then he lost the election to Joe Biden. So I believe that since he lost the continuation of his term, he should not have been allowed to go back.
Well, we could talk, but
he served the term.
I could speak to that at some length about, but I won't. Let's stick to this, okay?
Yeah,
Let's make sure.
This is my next thing.
Okay, go ahead.
My next thing is also relates to Trump a bit, but while they were all doing that, I was on my phone, like checking on multiple news sources so I can find out about it. And one of the things I found that's interesting, it goes, U.S. President Donald Trump added that those concerns Thursday when he blamed the mid-collision on the obsolete air traffic control system that airports rely on and promised to replace it.
Okay. I want to just establish one fact because we've done some good research today and even provided some new information. And Jake, you have a good point. I'm going to take that up next week in review. I just want to establish one fact. Let's look at this information here, okay? Because I want to write down something that you're going to remember when you leave here today about this. How many plane crashes are we talking about in the period of time that we have identified? Let's count them, okay? And also, because I want to be able to write, this number of plane crashes we established today has occurred in this period of time. And then we're going to leave it there and we're going to review this next week in terms of what's going on, what this might be. We may have new information next week. I want very much to make sure that we conclude this activity with what does this mean about the 21st century? What does this mean about your lives and your children's lives going forward? What do we need to focus on about that fact? We will do that next week, just in the review, okay? So we haven't finished yet, but there's a stunning fact here. Let's count. Hold on. And we've got the Toronto, yeah, there's Pearson. Okay, so we have one in DC, one in Pennsylvania, another one in DC, that's the big one. Yeah. Then in, that was Alaska, another one, Arizona, and then the sixth one, California, Florida, 7, and then 2 in Texas. Covington, 2. So we'll say 8. We'll say 8. We're gonna we'll include Pearson for now. 9, 10, and then today, is today's on there as well, Rachel? That's oh, that, yeah, February 19th. Good. Okay. It looks like between January the 29th. I mean, this is stunning. Just between January 29th and February the 19th, which is 3 weeks, approximately 3 weeks, 10 plane crashes in North America. Now, we just established that today. The meaning of this for our future. This is very interesting. The good news for you about next week is we won't be back next week because it's break. Okay, I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. All of you are getting full participation marks today without putting anything on the discussion board. That's for the Cosmos, and everybody is getting full participation marks. Okay, so don't worry, you're all good. You just leave in a couple of minutes and you get your 3. But this, in a 3-week period, there have been 10 plane crashes in North America. I would love to know when we come back in 2 weeks, not only in our review, what this means, but also, has this ever happened in history? Has there ever been a time in North America, in Canada and the United States? We should include Mexico as well, but we'll just say Canada and the United States, where there have been 10 plane crashes in 3 weeks. I don't know. That's the weird and bad news I'm leaving you with, but I want to leave you with good news for a break. No discussion post, full marks, and I like what I'm reading in these first reflections. Way to go. And the discussion posts are looking good too. Okay, I will continue to get your marks back for you. What is this online in the live chat? It looks like Manish is having a big every 9/11. Good. Okay. Anything in the Cosmos? We're leaving with that fact today. That is a fact. Between January the 29th and February 19th, including today as we speak, another one in Arizona. Wow. I don't know. 10 plane crashes. Gotta wonder about human error. I mean, unless this is all the same airline, and anyways, we're starting to run late. Have a great break, everybody, and thank you for the really informative and interesting class. I've learned something today. I'm here if you need me. I'm going to sign out. Bye, everybody online, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Remember, no discussion post is necessary. Everybody gets full participation marks. Take care.